What's the number one reason to try the spirits? Because it makes our whole life better. I'm Lisa Taylor, and I support people in following the law of God and leading a life driven by and led by divine spirit. So I was making a beautiful snowflake cinnamon roll star, like a Christmas star out of cinnamon rolls. Is really cool. And used a mixer for the end part, for the dough. Had to mix it for 8 minutes with a dough hook. And by the end of that 8 minutes, my mixer said, "That's it, I'm done." And it would run, but it wouldn't spin. So I decided I would pull apart the mixer and fix it myself. So, YouTube later, YouTube videos and different things, and ordered the part and got all that down to the very last step of putting this little pin back in the little mixer thing. Could not get the freaking pin in. And I could feel the frustration rising. I could feel the fear and the judgment and the blame and the shame rising. Like, what were you thinking? You're not an appliance repair person. And why would you take on a project like this? And blah, 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 blah. It's like piling on and like, oh my gosh, I just like wasted money on this part and I wasted this time and all of the stuff. And then I finally finally woke up to, oh wait, try the spirits. Like, what is happening here? What am I listening to? Am I listening to love or am I listening to fear? Like, try the spirits whether they are of God. Which thoughts are coming to me that are of God right in this moment? And in that moment, not many. So I walked away and I tuned into God, tuned into love and spirit and truth and principle. Like the law of love is always operating. Divine principle is always available. So why is it important to try the spirits? Because God is always here. Intelligence, infinite mind is always available. The Christ is always present. But if we're so busy listening to other thoughts, other erroneous suggestions, we're not open to spirit. We're not open to mind. We're not being the reflection of the one divine, all that is, the creator of the universe. We are not being the expression of the complete idea of God, including all right ideas. It doesn't say including all ideas of fear and doubt and blame and shame and all that stuff. We're the compound idea of God, including all right ideas. That's actually a quote from Mary Baker Eddy. So in that moment, walked away. I thought, okay, I just need to listen. Like, stop all the chatter and just listen. Try the spirits, whether they are of God. Which thoughts are of God right in this moment? I thought, okay, take a break, walk away, listen for an idea. I thought, well, the little pin, when in trying to hammer it out, it took a lot to hammer it out. It kind of got little burrs on the end, so it was a little tricky to put it back in. I thought, well, I wonder if I could like file that down. So I asked my husband, I said, do we have a metal file? I didn't know if we had a metal file because I didn't have that in my toolbox. Maybe he had it in his, and he did. He had a metal file. I thought, well, that's going to be tricky holding this little tiny pin against it. And then the thought came to me, put it in the drill. So I put the little metal thing in the drill and I spun it and like went along the file and I filed off each end so it was nice and smooth. So the burr was no longer there. Tried to put it in, still didn't work. So now my husband is standing next to me going, huh? He goes, what if you flip it upside down? So he had the little intuitive idea to flip it upside down. So he flipped it upside down. It settled into where it needed to go. The pin went in. Everything was fine. There was another issue that got resolved with another intuition, which I won't go into the details of. But the point of this is when we try the spirits, when we are tuned into where is that thought coming from? Like, what is the tenor of that thought that is coming to us? Is it an aggressive mental suggestion? Is it animal magnetism? Is it fear and doubt and blame and shame and fault and guilt? No fault, no blame, no guilt, no shame. If you haven't written that down, write that down. No fault, no blame, no guilt, no shame. Because those are not included in the child of God. There is no fault, there is no blame, there is no guilt, there is no shame. You are not a sinner as God's child. The sinning sense of us is only when we are following after fear, following after doubt, fault, blame, guilt, shame. If we're following after those things and we're not trying the spirits, then yeah, that's sinning. That's identifying ourselves with something that's less than who God created us to be. That's a sin. Like, that's missing the mark, as they say. So we don't need to do that. We get to choose. We get to choose. Choose ye this day whom ye shall serve. Try the spirits whether they are of God. And if they are of God, this is why it is so important. The degree to which we identify with we truly are as God's child is the same degree to which we are open to the inspired ideas of mind, God, intelligence, all-knowing mind. The degree to which we identify as God's child is the same degree to which we are open to and expressing divine mind. So who wouldn't want that? Because that's when we get the idea. Oh, file it down, put it in the drill, do the little thing. It's like those seem like really simple little baby steps of things, but those are the moments when truth is being revealed. When when the fear drops away, if we know that mind, what is that quote? That there is no other might nor mind but God. There is no other might. There is no power or mind but God. But when we recognize that in the moment, when the challenge is right in front of us, we recognize that all the fear goes away. Because if we think there's another power, we think there's another intelligence, another mind operating, that's when we start catastrophizing. And we start thinking of all the scenarios of how bad it could get. Well, when we recognize there's no other power or might but God, there's no other mind, there's no other intelligence, there's no other source but God, good, fear drops away. We can breathe. And then we're open to hearing, seeing the inspiration of God. The Christ is here. The dream is broken. We can hear the truth. And we walk forward in that space of love expressed rather than fear expressed. And things line up with the truth. The problem is exposed for the nothingness that it is, and it reveals, oh, right in this moment, there was peace and love and principle being operating the whole time. And all I had to do was see through the illusion of the problem and see its nothingness. It has no might, it has no mind, it has no power, it has no agency, it has no intelligence. It cannot operate through me when I'm aligned with God, when I know who I am. I'm not being duped into believing a falsity. I can go cleanly down the path of love and being the expression of who God created me to be. I don't need to be somebody else. So we get to have dominion. We get to have dominion over those anxious thoughts. We get to have dominion over those fearful thoughts because those are not of God and they are certainly not of us as God's child. So try the spirits, whether they are of God, and we will walk freely. We know the truth of who we are. We know the truth of who God is. We know the truth of who we are. We will walk freely. So look up, know who God is, look in, know who we are, and then look out and walk freely as the expression of God. And I should let you know that I'm holding a free workshop on January 2nd, not the 1st, on the 2nd. Everybody gets the 1st off. So Happy New Year. Yay. So on January 2nd, I'm doing a free workshop. I call it the vision workshop. It's like looking ahead to our next sort of, I don't know, year. It's just a, imposed thing, time. It's not really any time, but we get to, at these little junctures of a year, we get to go, reflect back and look forward. It's like, it's a nice time to sort of assess. So I do a vision workshop and I'll walk you through it. I haven't set up any registration or anything. So let's see. Why don't you look in the comments below this video and I will put the information there because I haven't set it up yet. I'll put the information there so that you can join us. We're going to do it on Zoom. And it'll be a, workshop, discussion, collaboration kind of thing. We're just going to be going through this workshop. But if you want to get the worksheet so you can follow along, I'll put the information in the comments below. Let me know, actually put a comment in and say vision in the comment if you're interested, and then I can communicate with you directly. So put the word comment, the word vision in the comments, put the word vision in the comments if you're interested in the vision workshop. Then that way I can get you the information and we can exchange emails and I'll get you the Zoom link and all that kind of stuff. Okay, lots of love. Hope to see you. If you haven't tried Morning Metaphys, always, always, always go to getfreesupport.com and check it out. sign up for a week. All these ideas were coming out in Morning Metaphys this morning about trying the spirit. That was kind of the theme today. So lots of love. I will see you next time. And I hope to see you at the Vision Workshop on January 2nd at 8 a.m. Pacific time, just from 8 to 9, might go a little longer, 8 to 9 Pacific time, Thursday, January 2nd. Put the word vision in the comments if you want